Hi folks, in this video I'm going to be covering how I painted this Cyberpunk synthwave bass. So without any further ado, let's cue the music. To start out with, I'm applying an all-over base coat of Incubi Darkness from Games Workshop all over the base. I've thinned this down with a little bit of water to aid this flows off my brush, but I'm not being especially neat with this, I'm just looking to get solid coverage. And this is a nice starting point for our blue and purple blend later on. For the first colour in our Cyberpunk synthwave blend, I'm coming in with Screamer Pink, and I've thinned this down a little bit more than normal, and I'm using a line marker in this colour to work out roughly how much of the base I want to be this pinky fuchsia colour, and then I fill in that area on that side with this first pass. Make sure that that line is roughly straight, it doesn't matter, we are going to be blending this later on, but once you're happy with the amount of area covered, rinse all the paint off your brush and with a clean brush go backwards and forwards over the edge, and this will start to soften and feather out the area. Don't be afraid if you find with a very wet brush that the Screamer Pink whooshes off into the recesses onto the blue side of the base. That's absolutely fine. We're going to be doing a pin wash later and some dry brushing to help soften out any transitional colours. Once our first layer is dried, I'm coming in with a second layer of Screamer Pink just to give us a nice solid base coat on the Screamer Pink side of things. I'm covering maybe 90% of the area covered by original pass, and doing this will ensure that we really leave a nice soft transitional fade between our blue and our fuchsia colour. If you want to enhance this transition, thin the Screamer Pink down to a wash consistency and go backwards and forwards quickly over the area that has the soft transition. Then rinse off your brush and push back the Screamer Pink towards the pink side away from the blue side. With this really thin consistency, you'll really soften out that transitional colour. To enhance the fuchsia undertones, even within the blue side of this base, I'm taking the very thin down Screamer Pink and I'm doing a pin wash into all the recess areas on the base. And the trick with this is just to be careful and take your time and allow the thinned paint to flow into the recesses. If you're really struggling with the thinned wash and the pinned recess, you can give the base an all over gloss coat and allow the gloss coat to do some of the work in allowing the paint to flow into the recess. Don't forget to mat that down after you're done though, as it will make some of the following steps look a bit weird if it goes on over a gloss coat. With the pin washed right, the base should now look something like this, ready for us to start enhancing the colours with the dry brush. To highlight the pink area of the base, I'm coming in with a soft dry brush of Pink Horror from Games Workshop, and I'm looking to cover between a third and a half of the Screamer Pink. If you want to soften out the blend even further, you could come in with Warlord Purple from Vallejo and cover 3/4 of the Screamer Pink and lead to a much softer blend. To highlight the blue side of the base, I'm coming in with a very light dry brush of Teclis Blue from Games Workshop. And the reason I'm starting light is because I'm going to be touching onto the areas of the pink right over that blend line that we started earlier. And once I've worked out how far I'm going to come across with the blue, I can then come back in with a much heavier pass and build up the colour. And with this I can show an intensity of the light at one side that fades out as soon as it hits the pink. And this suggests two different light sources meeting each other in the middle of this industrial base. Once I was happy with the pass of Teclis Blue, I came in with some Temple Guard Blue from Games Workshop and just did a final saturating boost right in the last quarter of the blue. I really wanted to ensure that we had that strong bright colours at the edges and that much more darker 50-50 tone in the middle, and the dry brush is allowed to do this very quickly. For a final step to tie both the pink and the blue sides together, I am coming in with an edge highlight of White Sands from Scale 75. If you don't have this colour, this would be any white that you have with a little bit of a bone colour added in. It is a very pale bone colour. And with this, I have picked a direction. From this, I'm turning the base to one side and going from top to down, and I'm picking out all the rivets and all the edges where I perceive the light would hit. Now, you don't have to be exact with this. You can absolutely pick out some stylized edges if you want, or you could go around every single edge. It's entirely up to you. The base will be viewed from different angles, of course. The trick with all edge highlighting is to thin down the paint enough so it flows nicely off your brush, but thick enough so that you still have a lot of control over it. With these rivets, I'm using the very tip of the brush to pick them out, but don't forget that you can move the base as much as you want in any direction to be able to use the side of your brush to run along these raised edges. Using the side of your brush allows you for so much extra control when doing edge highlights. Remember to breathe, embrace your hands, and take your time with these. And if you think you go too wide or you spill over with your edge highlight, rinse your brush off a bit whilst the edge highlight is still wet, and then come back with a wet brush and feather it out, and very soon you'll realise that you can clean it up and make it nice and neat very quickly. And it's just a matter of going around all of the edges on this base until you're happy. And this is what the base looks like once I finish the edge highlight. I've also painted in all the rivets, apart from that one I missed, with this white sands colour, and painted the little bar area. We're going to be using this white sands paint as a base colour for a green glow, as if these were lights. To make these rivets and the little bar shine as if they're glowing lights, I'm taking some warpstone glow from Games Workshop and really heavily thinning it down to a glaze consistency, and then I'm just going to quickly run the brush over it. As you can see, it's flowing super nicely into the recesses and just about tinting the top surfaces, which is really going to give us a nice green glow effect. If you want, you can sort of paint the area around the rivet or the bar light with the tip of your brush, and this will give some very light staining onto the pink and purple areas. You might want to do more than one pass of the little dabbing motions of the thin down warpstone glow around the rivets in the bar to sell the glow effects, but I wanted to do it in just the one pass just to sell off the fact that these are very low powered, very subtle lights that are just about lighting up the area. I didn't want to take the effect away from the pink blue glow that we've already got going. With the green glow effect dried, all that's left now is to paint the rim of the base. I've opted for a black paint here because this nice dark colour will allow all the bright colours to pop on the base. And with that, the Cyberpunk synthwave base is now complete. With a few simple dry brushing steps and a little bit of edge highlighting, you can really see that these pop in a really nice, unique way that's quite different from the normal Games Workshop approach. If you like this video, why not consider subscribing? It's free of charge, helps me out, and you get further videos just like this one in your YouTube feed. So, till next time folks.